Hi Facebook, how are you doing tonight? It is about 6:40 here in Oklahoma, and I've just really wanted to share a few things with you guys tonight. First off, if this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Kristen Woodman. I am in multi-level marketing. Hi Jackie, hi Christy, how are you? Thank you ladies for joining tonight. I kind of wanted to just come to you guys, hi Erin, come to you guys tonight and share a little bit about my story. Sorry, it's about 90 degrees here in Tulsa, but it's so pretty out in the shade that I really wanted to, hi Cheryl, I really wanted to be outside. We've been stuck inside all day. We watched a movie and now after dinner we're sitting down watching some TV. And then once it gets dark, we'll go take the dogs for a walk. Hi Andrea, hi Taylor. But my name is Kristen Woodman. That's awesome. That's great, Christy. Not too far. Isn't that right by Catoosa? Hi, Melissa. But my name is Kristen Woodman. Some of you guys are new. I haven't maybe formally introduced myself, so this is me formally introduce myself. I would love for you guys to drop a comment if this is your first time joining me tonight. And that's great. Well, I hope that you enjoy the video and you can stay around. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short, but hi Jesse. And I'm in multi-level marketing, and I've been in multi-level marketing. Hi Morgan, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I've been in multi-level marketing for almost 5 months now, and I am absolutely loving it. I'm finding so much success in my business. Oh wow, you're all the way from Australia. That's awesome. Hi Melissa, thank you so much for joining. Hi Jesse. Hi Ariana, thank you for joining. And hey Matt, how's it going? It's been a long time. But yeah, I am just an Oklahoma girl. I've grown up here, and I pursued volleyball after high school, and that paid for my college education. And after college, what Andrea? I'm sorry, multi-level marketing. It's like direct sales. Yes, it's been awesome. Hi Abby, hi best friend. But I just wanted to come to you and tell you guys a little bit about my story, a little bit about my why, and what my biggest fear is joining this business, joining this company, joining the, multi-billion-dollar industry of multi-level marketing. Hi Peggy, welcome. And just kind of talk to you about my biggest fear, because I do have something that I felt would hold me back and keep me from being successful, and it's something that I've dealt with for quite some time now. And there's Cooper. And so I just, I feel like you guys need to know this, and because I know some of you probably struggle with the same thing. So I'm just going to dive right in and talk to you a little bit about me growing up and kind of what my biggest apprehensions are, because it really leads into my whole why and my story. So hi Chelsea, hi Steph. Are you staying out of this heat, Stephanie, or are you outside playing ball? Like I said earlier, I grew up in Oklahoma, and born and raised. I went to Kansas. I went to a college in Kansas and played volleyball for a few years, and then moved back because I became a teacher. But when I was growing up, hi Lori, when I was growing up, my parents got divorced when I was 8 years old. And, I just faced a lot of struggles. I had a lot of hardships going through that, not only because my parents were divorcing, because I know that's kind of like everybody goes through that now, but for me, I really had a hard time because I felt like I was split between the two, split between my parents. My dad had a really hard time with the divorce, which actually led to his addiction. My dad just was an addict, and God bless his soul, he's one of the nicest, most loving man I've ever met. But he passed away about coming up on 6 years, and he died of some complications due to blood pressure and a bowel obstruction. So anyway, but my dad was an addict, and so that really drove me in a lot of ways to not become that way, because for me growing up, I just had a lot of promises that were never kept. I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm gonna clean up my life, I'm gonna do these things, and these empty promises that really, I felt, I really did, I believed him every single time. And hi Casey, hi Chris, And so I just, I struggled with a lot of issues in high school, and I honestly think that I should have been diagnosed with what I was diagnosed with a few years ago, but I feel that I was, hi Jennifer, welcome. I feel that I was, I grew up in a household where you kind of tough it out, and it's kind of, you can go through a phase, it can be a fad, you're just moody, it's teenager, all of this stuff. Hey Lori. And so for me, I just, I never felt like I could really deal with my emotions very well. A lot of it came out in anger. It probably, to some of my friends and family, I was probably a spoiled bitch. But I felt like my mom compensated with that because I was dealing with a lot. My dad was an addict for a long time. He struggled with a lot of different things. And I mean, addiction is a disease. Alcoholism is a disease. And, it was something that I always felt like he chose over me. And I have no hard feelings for him. I love him so much. There was nothing, there was no hard feelings when he passed away. My dad was very, very sick when he passed away. In fact, when he passed away, I was praying. I was almost angry with God because I was like, why are you making him suffer? He just suffered for a long time before he passed away. But I believe it was because he found God and was able to go to heaven because he had a lot of close calls. So kind of fast forwarding to my senior year, because this is where I really had a lot of issues. I was not a very confident person. I mean, you may think just because someone's beautiful or attractive or athletic, they look like they have it all together, because I was very involved in school. I was very involved in sports. I always wanted to be the best, so that drove me to try to be the best at everything that I could be. I never did anything half-assed. Hi Kara, hi Afton, welcome. I never did anything half-assed at all. And so I was also kind of a bitch. I mean, I'm a blunt person. I mean, I'm very forward. I call it like it is, and then you add all the teenage drama to it, and I was a bitch. I was not a very nice person. I was probably almost kind of come off as like righteous or judgmental. And I apologize for any of you those that are watching from high school. People change and they grow up, but I was also dealing with a lot of shit. And my dad went in the hospital 26 times my senior year. I didn't go see him once. I would get phone calls or text messages right before I had to walk onto the volleyball court and play a game. Hey, your dad's in the hospital, it's kind of dangerous, he might be sick. Okay. Was he drinking? Yep. All right, I'm not coming to see him. So I was a very bitter person. Hi Abigail, hi Hillary, thanks for joining. I was a very bitter, angry person, and it consumed me. It consumed me to the core. And I just, the only outlet that I had was sports. And honest to God, the only outlet I had was sports, because that's the only thing that kept me sane. I wasn't very easy to deal with. I fought with my parents a lot. I would go weeks upon end not talking to my dad, and I took it out on my mom and my stepdad. I just didn't know how to handle it. And honestly, for me, what I was dealing with was depression. I had a lot of anxiety. I had mood swings. I am diagnosed with depression, and I have been medicated for almost 7 years now, 6.5 years. I started medication right before my dad died, which I think helped me through it a lot. But my dad was a manic depressant. He suffered from depression for a long time. There's Talon's tail. Hi, Katie. That's a big why. That was my biggest fear, because if anybody suffers from depression, it's very hard to explain. You feel like you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just heavy. My body feels heavy. I'm lethargic. I'm tired. I could not tell you why things hurt. I could not tell you why I would flake out on things or back out or be afraid to commit, because I wanted to be able to lay on my couch and go to sleep. And I suffered from that for a long time. I still dealt with anger until the middle of my freshman year of college. My dad was diagnosed with pancreatitis, chronic pancreatitis, and for those of you that may not know what that is, you have an enzyme in your pancreas that activates with an enzyme that's released from your stomach. So when that food pushes out into your stomach, into what's called your small intestines and your duodenum area of that small intestines. That enzyme is supposed to help digest that food even more so you can absorb the nutrients. Well, that enzyme would activate in his pancreas and cause a lot of pain and inflammation. And your gut, your abdomen area is supposed to be slimy and smooth and move and fluid, and it's kind of like when a horse colics. They get wrapped around each other because things get sticky and inflammation happens. So towards the end, before my dad finally quit drinking, he every time that he would drink, his pancreas would inflame and cause a lot of pain. The pain is equivalent to pancreatic cancer. It's not cancer. So it eventually can kill you. But in his case, it caused a complication that led to him not being able to revive him, and having to sign a DNR. Hi Ann, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. But anyway, one of my biggest fears coming into multi-level marketing and joining the business that I joined was depression is tough. Every summer after teaching, every summer that I didn't have a set schedule, I would go the first 2 weeks into a very low. First 2 weeks I slept all the time, every single summer after teaching. I'd get about 4 weeks off, and then camps would start and practices would start as a coach. So it was very difficult for me thinking, okay, I don't have a set schedule. You work your own business and you set your own events and you set your own times. And my biggest fear was knowing that when I started in February, that June would happen and I would have to make my own schedule. And that was my biggest fear is, am I gonna hit that low? Am I gonna hit that depression mark and not wanna work for 2 weeks and sit on my couch and binge watch Netflix? Because that's one of my biggest fears. And I've tried to get off my medicine a couple times, and I mean, depression is something that is genetic. It is something that people truly do suffer from. And that was my biggest fear, is the depression going to overtake me? And because one of the best things for me is to have a schedule. One of the best things. When school starts, I get my workout routine back, I get my groove back, I get my energy back, which you wouldn't think so because I'm back to 50 to 60 hour weeks because it's volleyball season right when school starts. And so for me, I embrace a schedule. I embrace that chaos. I embrace being busy because it keeps me from hitting that low. And I even try to not take my medicine when even when I'm in those chaotic times. And sometimes I can really tell that my emotions are all up and down. I'm on a very low dosage now. I was on a pretty high dosage when I started it, but I've been able to wean off and kind of take a lower dosage because it just made me a little bit too numb. So my biggest fear joining this business was thinking that my depression was going to overtake me and I was going to fail. And that crutch, or thinking that I was a crippled or not qualified, was holding me back. Some of you may or may not know this, but I do have a lot of self-doubt. I did have a lot of self-doubt. That's been one of the biggest blessings about this business, is how much they preach family, how much they preach as a whole, how helpful everybody has been, how giving this company has been. It's been such a blessing. I mean, they just keep surprising us time after time. And each month is just getting better and better and better. And I never hit that low. I didn't hit that low. I mean, and it's the hardest thing is to make yourself do it. Absolutely, Andrea, I'll definitely do that. Actually, I think if once this video is done, you can just click on my name and add me, but I'll do that as well. Hi, Tanya. How are you? Thank you for joining. But for some of you, your fear might be a failure. Your fear might be that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, that you aren't qualified enough, that you don't know enough, or you're too old, or you don't have time. But let me tell you this, if you desire freedom, you desire financial freedom, you can bust your ass long enough, you can stick with it long enough to get there. I promise you, you can do this. hell, if I can do it, you can do it. You can overcome. You just have to have the desire within to want change, to not be buckled and strapped and feel like that the expected paycheck. I knew what I was going to get paid every 2 weeks. I knew the identical dollar amount. And there is comfort in that. I completely understand that. I know that money is going to be in the bank, even though I did not like the amount of work that I put in and the amount of money that I didn't get. Hi, Nick. Thanks for joining. Hi, Andy. How are you? The amount of money that I wasn't getting and the amount of ass busting I was doing was just, to me, I was just not happy. You know, the profession itself was tough. I loved teaching. I loved my students, but I hate the system. I absolutely hate it. And for me, I still get to teach. I still get to educate. I still get to lead. You know, obviously I'm leading adults now. I'm not leading high school students and coaching a team. I'm coaching a team, but I'm not coaching like a volleyball team. I still get to do that on the side. I still get to pursue my passion because I love working with children and I love working with students because I feel like a coach has a massive impact on your life. And that's what I get to do. I get to have an impact on these people's lives. We get to work together. We work side by side. It's not me pulling a leash. I get to work side by side. I learn from you the same way that you learn from me. And you get to work your business and pull tools from everywhere and work your business. And even my sideline people that don't make money off of me, I think I'm saying that right, sideline or lateral line. Disability and sometimes feel like I push it back. Andrea, shouldn't. You can use that for your story. I mean, I know that I can definitely feel my emotions up and down with this business, but I have fought hard. I have fought tooth and nail to not let this, I can't even say crutch or cripple because it's never held me back. I've never allowed it to hold me back from anything. So I don't know why I was so afraid to let it hold me back from this business because it's pushed me even more. Hi, Marcus. Hi, Ashley. How are you guys? Thanks for tuning in tonight. So for me, it's just been a huge, wanting something different than what I had. I love my parents and I love what they provided for me. My story wasn't very similar to a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends had parents who were married and didn't have to deal with what I had to deal with growing up, and all the fighting, all the arguing, all of the anger and the bitterness, everything. I was very fortunate enough, 2 years before my dad passed away, my freshman year of college, he overdosed on some pain medicine that he was taking for pancreatitis, and he went into a coma for 6 weeks. And guys, let me tell you, my life was not clean at that time. Not clean at all. I was a freshman in college. I was definitely drinking a lot. I was partying a lot. I was doing things that I would never, ever, ever want my kids to know. They're gonna know because I feel like that's what you do. You're honest, you're open, you're, so that they can make their own choices. They can weigh all their options and see if that's something that they want to do. But for me, I was so ashamed. When I saw my dad laying there signing the first DNR, I remember sobbing into this blanket, and I'm pretty sure it probably had 6 pounds of snot and tears because I have never prayed so hard, and I never wanted something so bad, because had he died, it would have been horrible, because I was so mad at him. I was so angry at him for choosing his addiction over his children. I just couldn't understand it. I remember begging him to stop, saying that you're not going to walk me down the aisle. You're not going to see your grandchildren grow up. You're not going to... I used every single tool that I could to... Hey, Rachel. I used every single tool that I could to get him to stop. And I never wanted ever to feel that way. I never wanted something to consume me other than the love for my family and the love for my children and future children and my dogs, my fur babies. I never wanted that. I never wanted to feel that way. The only taste of addiction that I've ever had was when I did my bodybuilding show and I was depleted of sugar. I was like, I need Skittles, I need food, I need sugar. And so I cannot imagine how much more of a toll addiction takes, whether it's cigarettes or dipping or tobacco, or alcohol or pills or whatever it is. I mean, I can't imagine what it just consumes you. But for me as a child, I could not grasp or understand why we weren't enough. And I think that stemmed from why I never felt good enough. Even if someone told me every single day I was beautiful, I never believed it. I never had the self-belief that I could go Division I volleyball, that I could be a starter. Even when I was those things, I didn't play Division I, I played Division II, but even when I was a starter, a 4-year starter in college ball, I still didn't think I was good enough. Someone would congratulate me, I'm like, yeah, I could have done better. Or I just couldn't, I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. I didn't believe when someone would tell me I'm pretty or attractive or buff or tone or whatever it is, that I'm intelligent. That was another thing I struggled with. I never felt smart enough. And I struggled in tests because hi Amanda, I struggled, hi Lacey, in tests because I'd get there and I'm like, I'm not smart enough to take this. I don't know anything. I'm not smart enough for this. I never felt worthy. I never had the self-belief. I never felt that I deserved what I got. I know I worked hard and I busted my ass, and I know that I definitely worked for it, but I never felt worthy enough. Thank you, Andrea. You know, and that's one of the biggest things that this business has brought, is the amount of self-belief that I've been instilled with. The amount of positive talk that it's brought into my vocabulary inside my brain. And the more that I'm trying to apply it to my family life, because I know it had to be hard on Gabe when I would come home in the shittiest mood because of teaching. I had such a negative attitude about things. And I asked myself, how could my last year of teaching been better if I had a better attitude? And, you know, this personal development and this business that I'm in, the actual business that I chose to do, has helped me tremendously, because that is what they focus on. Hi, Regina. I'm so proud of you. You're kicking ass so far. But this business has helped me so much. And I know that, you know, if you apply the things that your business tells you to apply, if they aren't teaching you personal development, then they aren't invested in you personally. The business that I'm in wants you to be a great person. Morgan, I'll message you that. I try not to mention my business, because a lot of people share these with their teams. So I try not to, if they share it with like a makeup company or something like that, then I try to make sure that I don't mention. So I'll message you after this video and let you know what I'm with. But we are gonna rock this, Regina. You're gonna race me to the top. And I'm so pumped for you to be on this team and push my ass, because it's already putting a fire. I love that you're running with this and you're already kicking ass. So I'm so excited to see where this business takes you and your family. But that's what this business has helped. They are so family oriented. The reason that they started this business was because they wanted to help families. They wanted to help you. They wanted to help you personally grow and endure life and be able to live it to its fullest, because they didn't have to. They were already successful with another company, and so they didn't have to do that, but they chose to because they knew how much it would help you. They knew how much it would help me, and it has. It absolutely has. I've met some wonderful people throughout this process, and they teach you to invest in people, not sell a product. They don't teach you dollar signs. They teach you relationships, and that's what it's all about, and that's what's helped me. That's what's helped me not get in that depression. It's so phenomenal, and I cannot believe that I ever had a fear of not doing this, because it has changed me for the better. It has made me more confident. It has made me have more self-belief than I could ever do. And granted, there are some days where I'm like, can I really do this? Can I do this? Lord, why the hell did you put this in my lap? Why did you do this? Because for me, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way that I know enough people to make it to the top. But he is, I mean, I put this in his hands, and he tests me every single day. But I mean, there is a reason that God had me persevere through all of the shit that I had to go through in my life to be where I'm at right now. And some of you have a great testimony and a great story. And I would love for you to be able to use your story to create an empire and to lead others the way that I have the privilege of leading. Because I think without all of that perseverance and that hardship, I would not appreciate it the way that I do now. I wouldn't have been in a place that I was strong enough, sorry Rachel, strong enough to want to lead. I know God has instilled in me a leadership attitude. I'm definitely a type A personality. I'm strong-willed. You can ask my husband, you can ask my mom, my Aunt Mel. I did an interview with her last week, and she didn't talk about it in the interview, but she was like, you're pretty strong-willed. Like, you want something and you go for it. And that's exactly what you don't necessarily have to be a type A personality. But if you want something, this business will provide you with every tool that you need. I promise you. And, you know, everybody's story can reach somebody. And if you don't have the privilege of telling your story, you should. Join me, because I want to know your story and I want to be able to tell it to the world so that you can reach others and be able to help them the exact same way that this business has helped me. Because let me tell you guys, it is, I mean, when you're around these kind of people that want it just as bad as you do, there's nothing but positive and encouragement and uplifting. No doubt. I mean, they've all persevered. This business isn't easy. They've all had to persevere through tough times. They've all had to push, whether it's 5 steps a day or 1 step a day, 20 flights of stairs or 1 flight of stairs. It doesn't matter. They've all had to persevere and endure through some kind of trial and valleys and peaks, because that's what this business is all about. But those that make it through those valleys and get to the top of that mountain freaking flourish. They do an amazing job. And you can do it. I know you can. Because I promise you, if I can do it, if I can go through everything that I've been through and still come out positive and happy and wanting more and wanting to learn more and wanting to reach out to more people, you can do it. I promise you. And I would love to be part of that journey. I would love to be part of that journey with you. Even if it's not you joining my business, it's just being a supporter. Being someone that can hold your hand and say that it's okay. Someone to answer questions for you, or someone to kick your ass in gear. Okay, I mean, I promise you I don't do anything halfway. And I know one day in the weight room I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to go like, yeah, I can squat that, throw out my back. I know the day is going to come. Or I can, oh yeah, I can beat you in that sprint, one of my players, and then tear my ACL. Knock on wood, I don't think I'm going to do that. And anyway, I know that you guys can do this, and I really appreciate those of you that have tuned in to listen to my story tonight. And I wish there was more that I could share. This was not easy for me. It's been on my heart for a couple weeks. I didn't have notes. Maybe I should have made notes, but I mean, I know a lot of you have endured a lot of things. You've faced a lot of trials. You've had your struggles. And if that's what's holding you back, don't let it hold you back, because that's what's going to push you. That's what's going to help you be relatable, because you see these very successful people in network marketing, and they're like gods. They're like celebrities in the network marketing world. Sorry, I'm sweating. But you see these people in these network marketing worlds, and you're like, oh my God, these people are really good. You can do that. That's the great thing about this. It's not luck. This business is not luck. It's not catching a break when you're at not saying that acting isn't a skill, because absolutely it is, but it's not catching a break and someone happened to be seeing you and say, oh, I want to invest this much money in you. Or sign a record label. This is whatever you put in, you get out. And I promise you that you can do it. If you have the will, you have the desire to want freedom. You want to bust your ass for a year, 6 months, however much you want to do. You want to make those sacrifices for temporarily, so that in the end you have the freedom to travel, you have the money to save or spend, or, you know, for me, I mean, the money that I want to spend right now is to try to, you know, get out of debt. Get out of debt, be able to start a family, because right now we can't afford to start a family. It's tough. We pay so much in child support and to lawyers because we're changing things or trying to change things that we don't have money. All of our money goes to debt and, you know, added expenses to try to get my husband's kids. And then on top of that, we want to start our own family. We want to have our own kids together. So it's tough. But I'm not letting that keep me down. I'm letting that drive me, because I know that this business can provide me with that. They can provide me with financial freedom, and they can provide me with a debt-free life to be able to go on vacation when they come here in the summers. Because right now we can't. We can't afford it. We can't afford to go on vacation with them. So those are things that are pushing me right now. And when we attain those goals, I know my why is going to change. But don't let your unworthiness or your self-doubt ever keep you from joining, because you can do it. Any walk of life can do this business. Any walk of life. Okay? And this business that I'm in teaches you every tool and opportunity, every tool, every resource to contact any type of person, any type of personality, all walks of life, whether they're a business or they're in hair care or they're a teacher, server, waitress, bartender, anything. This business is going to provide it for you. It doesn't, because you get to work it your own way. So I hope you guys found value. I would love to hear if you found value in this video. This is me being vulnerable. It's very difficult for me to be vulnerable. I have, you kind of get used to just hardening your heart a little bit. So for me to open up, it's kind of a big deal. So I really appreciate those of you that have shown some love and appreciation and that tuned in tonight. If you're tuning in on the recorded video, I really appreciate you tuning in. I'm Kristen Woodman, coming to you live from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I hope you guys have a great evening. Tomorrow's Friday. Hit that Friday hard, kick some ass, and enjoy your weekend. And thank you, Regina. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And if you're in multi-level marketing, it's halfway through the month, and keep trekking, keep pushing, and keep going, because you guys are awesome. I appreciate those of you that have tuned in, and have a great evening, and God bless.